In life, they were draped in silk and bathed in spotlights. In death, they found peace beneath the rolling lawns of Hollywood's most storied grounds. These are the queens of the cinema, the pioneers, the rebels, and the sweethearts who turned movies into magic. Let's visit the final resting places of some of these Hollywood's leading ladies and honor the legacies they left behind. Marilyn Monroe died on the 4th of August, 1962, at the age of 36. Her fame became a modern kind of pressure cooker. Global stardom, studio control, constant scrutiny, and a public image that rarely matched the private person. Even now, she represents the birth of celebrity as an industry in itself. After her death, she was buried in a crypt at Westwood Village Memorial Park, Los Angeles. Audrey Hepburn died on the 20th of January, 1993, at the age of 63. She became a screen icon through elegance and precision, then spent later decades pushing much of her energy into humanitarian work, which reshaped how people viewed movie stardom and service. She is buried at Cimetière de Tolochenaz in Tolochenaz, Vaud, Switzerland. Elizabeth Taylor died on the 23rd of March, 2011, at the age of 79. Her career spanned classic studio glamour to modern celebrity culture, and she also became one of the most visible early advocates in the fight against HIV/AIDS, changing what public activism looked like for a major star. She is buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. Bette Davis died on the 6th of October, 1989, at the age of 81. She forced Hollywood to make room for sharper, more complicated female leads, often playing women who were brilliant, abrasive, vulnerable, or all three at once. She is buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, California. Judy Garland died on the 22nd of June, 1969, at the age of 47. She carried a rare mix of talent and fragility through an era that demanded perfection, and her life became one of the clearest examples of how the studio system could elevate and exhaust the same person. Her remains were reinterred at Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Hollywood, California. Sharon Tate died on the 9th of August, 1969, at the age of 26. Her death became one of the most infamous before and after moments in Hollywood's modern mythology, freezing her image at the edge of promise and youth. She is buried at Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City, California. Hattie McDaniel died on the 26th of October, 1952, at the age of 57. Her career sits inside a harsh contradiction: undeniable talent and historic recognition, alongside an industry that limited the roles available to Black performers. She is buried at Angeles Rosedale Cemetery in California. Mae West died on the 22nd of November, 1980, at the age of 87. She built a career on control, writing, timing, persona, and a refusal to act small long before Hollywood was ready to reward that kind of authority in a woman. She is buried at Cypress Hill Cemetery in Brooklyn. Rita Hayworth died on the 14th of May, 1987, at the age of 68. She was one of the era's most famous screen presences, yet her life also showed how fame could distort identity, especially for stars remade by studios into an image. She is buried at Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City, California. Lucille Ball died on the 26th of April, 1989, at the age of 77. She didn't just perform, she helped change the business, becoming a model for how a woman could hold creative power and reshape what comedy looked like on screen. She is buried at Lakeview Cemetery in New York. Debbie Reynolds died on the 28th of December, 2016, at the age of 84. She carried old Hollywood charm into newer eras and also fought to preserve film history, treating Hollywood's past as something worth saving, not just consuming. She is buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Los Angeles. Carrie Fisher died on the 27th of December, 2016, at the age of 60. She became a cultural landmark through one role, then expanded her legacy through writing, honesty about mental health, and refusing to be flattened into a single image. She is buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Los Angeles. Katharine Hepburn died on the 29th of June, 2003, at the age of 96. She built a career on independence, refusing to soften her voice or shrink her presence, and that long-running defiance became its own kind of Hollywood revolution. She is buried at Cedar Hill Cemetery in Connecticut. Olivia de Havilland died on the 26th of July, 2020, at the age of 104. Her legacy is both artistic and legal. She was central to a famous studio-era contract fight that helped shift power toward performers. After cremation, her ashes were placed at Père Lachaise in Paris, France. Grace Kelly died on the 14th of September 1982 at the age of 52. She crossed from Hollywood stardom into royalty, and her life became a permanent reference point for fame, image, duty, and the cost of living as a symbol. She is entombed at the Cathedral of Our Lady Immaculate in Monaco. Lauren Bacall died on the 12th of August 2014 at the age of 89. Her voice, posture, and poise became a template for cool, and she stayed culturally relevant far beyond the classic era that created her. She is interred at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in California. Princess Diana died on the 31st of August 1997 at the age of 36. Although best known as royalty, she was also a modern celebrity figure whose media presence rewired expectations of public emotion, compassion, and vulnerability. She is buried on the grounds of Althorpe House in Northamptonshire, England. Shirley Temple died on the 10th of February 2014 at the age of 85. She became the face of the Great Depression era, a child star whose optimism and precision made her a national symbol of escape and comfort when audiences needed it most. Unlike many child actors, she built a second life beyond the screen, later serving in U.S. diplomatic roles. She is buried at Alta Mesa Memorial Park, California. Ava Gardner died on the 25th of January 1990 at the age of 67. Her career carried the electricity of classic Hollywood glamour, but she also brought a rawness that pushed past the polished studio image. She is buried at Sunset Memorial Park, North Carolina. Jane Mansfield died on the 29th of June, 1967, at the age of 34. She is buried at Fairview Cemetery, Pen Argyl, Pennsylvania. Mansfield is remembered as a symbol of 1950s Hollywood fame, spectacle, and the harsh cost of living in public. Dorothy Lamour died on the 22nd of September, 1996, at the age of 81. She became a staple of classic American entertainment, mixing charm, comedy timing, and musical ability, and she remained beloved for the kind of stardom that felt warm rather than distant. She is buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, California. Lana Turner died on the 29th of June, 1995, at the age of 74. She became a major star during the studio era and remained famous for the mix of glamour and turbulence that followed her through decades of headlines. On screen, she mastered the polished Hollywood look, but she also carried a dramatic edge that kept her relevant long after her first wave of fame. She is buried at Hillside Memorial Park, Culver City, California. Turner is remembered for classic stardom shaped by both screen success and an unusually public private life. Maureen O'Hara died on the 24th of October 2015 at the age of 95. She built a career on fearless strength, playing women who stood their ground rather than melting into the background. Her work in classic cinema made her an enduring figure of dignity and defiance, and her Irish identity remained a key part of her public image. She is buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Arlington, Virginia, beside her husband. Clara Bow died on the 27th of September 1965 at the age of 58. She became the it girl of the silent era, representing a new kind of modern femininity that felt fast, funny, and emotionally direct. Her fame arrived at the exact moment Hollywood was inventing celebrity culture, and she was one of its earliest proofs that the public could become obsessed. She is buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Glendale, California. Carol Landis died on the 5th of July, 1948, at the age of 29. She rose quickly in an era where studio images were tightly controlled, and she became associated with the wartime Hollywood moment when stars were sent out as symbols of morale and glamour. Her death froze her legacy into a permanent what could have been story. She is buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, California. Janet Leigh died on the 3rd of October 2004 at the age of 77. She built a long career across classic studio filmmaking and later eras, but one role became permanently etched into pop culture because it changed how suspense and vulnerability could be filmed. She carried an old Hollywood polish while remaining believable as a modern, anxious character. She is buried at Westwood Memorial Park, California. Farrah Fawcett died on the 25th of June 2009 at the age of 62. She became a modern-era icon whose fame moved through television, film, and a level of pop recognition that turned her into a cultural shorthand. In later years, public attention returned through her highly visible health battle, which reshaped how many people remembered her, less as a poster image, more as a real person enduring something brutal. She is interred at Westwood Memorial Park, California. Brittany Murphy died on the 20th of December 2009 at the age of 32. She had a rare mix of innocence and intensity, the kind that made her feel believable in offbeat roles and emotionally heavy stories. Her death shocked audiences because she still felt like a rising talent, not a finished chapter. She is buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, California. Anne Heche died on the 12th of August 2022 at the age of 53. Her career crossed film, television, and theater, and she built a reputation for taking on emotionally demanding roles. Her final days became a major public story, but her body of work remains the clearer record of who she was as a performer. She was cremated, with her ashes placed in a mausoleum at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, California.